Before we get started, I just wanted to share a quick disclaimer. This podcast is based on my personal experiences and what I've lived through. Some episodes include difficult topics like trauma and abuse that may be triggering for some listeners. If you need support, I've included resources in the episode description. All stories are shared from my perspective, and names, identities, and specific details have been changed or removed to protect the privacy of those involved. Any resemblance to real people or events is purely coincidental. My goal is to help others feel seen, raise awareness, and remind anyone listening that they are not alone.
Hey, it's me. So, you tell the truth, and suddenly you're the problem. The liar, the crazy one, the one who can't let it go. After everything you've already lived through, you end up defending yourself again. And not even from what happened, but from the story being told about what happened. You set a calm, protective boundary, and, of course, they call it control. You speak clearly, and all of a sudden, you have it. They call it an attitude. You walk away, and they turn that into proof that you just don't care. Every single move gets twisted until the whole thing looks backwards. I've seen it too many times. And moments where I chose calm instead of chaos, where I said, I just need space, or this isn't healthy. And somehow that became, she's difficult, or she's dramatic. She's unstable. And they do it quietly. A few words here, a look there, a half-truth there, or a complete lie. Just the right way. And before you realize it, they've rewritten the entire narrative. And people believe them because the story sounds easier than the truth. I've lost a lot of people because of it. Friends who never even asked me what happened, never even cared enough to ask my side. But suddenly, your name, it carries the fingerprints of somebody else. It's so hard to explain. Like, you know who you are. You know what happened. And you think, maybe if I explain it better, maybe if I show them messages or spell it all out, maybe then people see, but they don't. They look at your exhaustion and they just call it evidence. And that's the cruel part. They push you to the edge. They'll fucking emotionally drain you. Twist every single word. And when you finally break down, they point to that fucking moment and say, see? That's the real her. And you feel it happening in real time. The tone changes when they realize that they're losing control of the narrative. The conversation becomes a performance. Every question becomes bait. Every word gets stored for later, edited, clipped, retold, or a complete lie. And when you finally can't take it anymore, when you cry, or when you raise your voice, or when you simply just stand up for yourself finally, they freeze that fucking version of you in time. And again, that becomes the proof. But they, of course, they don't show everything that came before it. The restraint, the calm, the nights that you rehearsed how to say things differently so it wouldn't get twisted again. They don't say all the poking and rude, awful things that they did. So you start like living inside two realities, the one you know, and then the one that they've sold. And it's fucking exhausting, because somewhere out there, someone's nodding along to a version of you that never fucking existed. It happens to me often. People that I haven't seen in months, they look at me differently. Or sometimes they look like they never even met me a day in their life. And that quiet distance, it says more than words. It's not confrontation, it's a disconnection. You go from belonging to suspicion, from being known to misunderstood. And that's it. It's what breaks you. It's not the lie itself, it's the way it sticks. And you try to fight it at first, but every attempt just becomes proof that you're obsessed or bitter. It's a setup that you're never going to win. Because defending yourself, really, it just keeps you in a game that you're destined to lose. It's that when that fatigue, it like, it's not, you're not even tired, like regular tired. You're like soul deep tired. Unless you've been there, like, I don't know how to even explain it. Like, you just completely, you pull out, and it's not from guilt, it's from survival. And you got it, I'm sure you guessed it, they fucking use that too. See, she's isolating. She can't face the truth. She can't handle people. So really, like, if you're calm, you're cold. If you're upset, you're unhinged. If you're silent, you're hiding something. And eventually, at some point, you just stop trying. You stop begging people to see you. You realize not everybody even wants to understand. Some people just choose not to understand. Some people need that lie because the truth will cost them their comfort with the people who are lying. And that's when that break becomes an awakening. Because you see that pattern for what it is. It's not confusion, it's control. It's a system that will keep you defending while they play calm. And once you see that clearly, it's like the whole thing unfolds. And it's like a script that you never even agreed to. And they're not just like telling a story, they're casting one. And they pick their role as this calm, reasonable person who tried everything, who did everything perfect. And of course, they pick yours, and I bet you can't guess it. We're the fucking unstable ones. Can't be pleased. We're unhinged. Terrible people. But really, it's image management. It's a smear campaign dressed up as either concern or just pure vindictive hate. And they start with the soft things, like easing into it. I'm worried about her. You know how emotional she can get. You know how unstable she is. They plan it. They like plant these seeds one seed at a time, and until people question you without even knowing why. They don't ask. And most people won't look deeper. It's easier to believe that calm one. They mistake the composure for honesty and the exhaustion for guilt. They don't see that the one who looks together, they're often the ones who are building and creating the chaos. It's manipulation at peak. It's not screaming, just quiet rewrites of history. And you'll notice how strategic it is. They retell moments that were calm until they provoked them. And then they freeze that frame right at your reaction. And that's the story that they will keep repeating. They'll re-talk about the same things over and over and over again to paint this picture of the person to get it to stick in everybody's head. It works. Like, it's crazy to me. They know who to charm, what emotionals to trigger. They know it. Basically, sympathy equals control to them. And the sick irony, for me anyway, is watching people confront and comfort the person who is causing all of the chaos and harm and problems. Like, watching that from a distance, knowing the fucking truth, is so disturbing to me. And the person who is, like, doing this thinks like they're winning, but really it's disgusting. They look like a psychopath. And for me, knowing that the truth always comes out, people will always see it for what it is in time. Like, how do people just sit there and do that? Like, thinking they won or they're winning, when what they're doing, like, they know what they're doing. It's so, like, disturbing to me. Like, that's sociopath level gross to me. And then, like, hearing other people say, like, oh, well, there's two sides to the story. But no, there's fucking not. The one that's being told is a fucking lie. And most people know that what they're saying is bullshit. But I don't know, it's crazy. And I feel like a lot of people, like, they'll say, like, I'm staying neutral, knowing the truth, when really, like, that's not noble. Like, because what you're doing is you're erasing the person who's telling the truth. And you're standing beside the person who's lying. That makes you just as disgusting of a person. And I don't even apologize for saying that, because it's the truth. Like, you see something, you say something. And a big thing for me is like, all of these people who were supposed to be my friends, I know a lot of them know the truth. They chose quiet and neutral to stay out of it, watching what was happening, what is happening. And for me, it's like, how would you feel if that was you? But let's take it a step further. How would you feel if that was your child that was happening to? Like, these are people's lives. Like, I'm not even just referring to myself. Like, in my situation, it's shitty, but this happens to so many people. People stay quiet and watch shitty things happen to people. Like, and to sit there and, like, watch somebody, like, smear somebody's name with lies, ruining reputations, and sitting back and watching that unfold is wrong. Like, that, it's fucked up. I don't even know. People, people love to say, like, you're the company that you keep, and I get that, but, like, we surround ourselves, like, who we surround ourselves with, it matters, but, like, I look at it so differently now, because that logic, it just doesn't apply when the people spreading lies now, like, they were supposed to be my friends. And I realized now, like, none of them were ever my fucking friends. At all. Because when the rumors started, when I suddenly was labeled a drug addict, for example, not one fucking person reached out and asked if I was okay. Not one person said, hey, I heard something and wanted to check in. They just fucking believed it. And better yet, they all fucking repeated it. Joined in without knowing a thing about what was actually happening or real. And to this day, I still hear stories about me currently being reckless. I go out partying like I'm living some chaotic double life. And here's the truth. I don't fucking go out. I don't party. I haven't been in a bar in over 3 years. I've maybe had 2 or 3 alcoholic drinks this entire year. And that's the thing about lies. They don't need proof. They just need a crowd willing to echo them. And when that crowd includes people who once called you family, it cuts deeper than anything than the abuser ever said. Because it's not just a rumor. It erases your past. It's people choosing the easier story over the harder truth. It's the first time you realize truth isn't enough. Something in you changes. You stop pleading. You stop explaining. You start protecting your peace in a way that looks like detachment. But really, it's self-preservation. It's not that you stop caring. It's you start conserving. Energy, words, tears, explanations. For people who actually see you. The silence that used to feel like defeat, it starts to feel like power. Because you finally understand the game. And you fucking refuse to play. They can twist stories all they want. I don't fucking care. But they can't reach the places of you that you've rebuilt in private. They can talk about you, but they can't touch the truth that lives inside you. And that truth grows stronger the less that you defend it. It becomes quiet certainty that just doesn't need validation. Peace doesn't show up as relief. It shows up as emptiness. Like you've run out of words, out of fight, out of the need to be heard. But eventually, that emptiness, it becomes space. And in that space, you start hearing yourself again. You remember who you were before they turned your name into a headline. Before you're crazy became shorthand for too honest. You began rebuilding your own narrative. Not publicly, not loudly, just quietly. Just defining what truth means when no one else has to agree with it. The moment you realize that you don't need to prove anything anymore, that's when it all shifts. They lose access to the part of you that cared about their version. They lose control over your energy, your name, your peace. You stop existing in their storyline and start existing in your own. And it's not revenge. It's me living again. Not anger, it's arrival of myself. And although I'm still always talked about, I don't care, because who they're talking about isn't real. It's a made up version of me that they keep just like talking about, and none of it's true, and I'm okay with that. There's a moment when you just stop explaining. It doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, but you just wake up one day and you realize that you're done correcting people who never cared to understand. That exhaustion, it turns into awareness, and the awareness turns into something that feels a lot like peace. You see the cycle for what it is, and they needed you to defend yourself so they could keep looking calm. And the moment you stop, their story stops mattering, because it only lives if you keep feeding it. That's the turning point. Realizing no amount of proof would reach the people who are already committed to their version. The truth doesn't matter to the people who need that lie. And that's when my silence, it became my strength. It's not silence out of fear. It's silence out of self-fucking respect. It's not withdrawal. It's protection. I'm not fucking giving up. I'm letting go of that chaos. And a lot of people, they think silence means guilt. But real silence, the kind that comes after being dragged through every fucking false narrative, it's fucking power. It's choosing not to hand your piece to the people who've already decided what they believe. I stopped trying to fix the story a long time ago. I stopped trying to make everybody see the truth. And in that space, I found stillness. And for the first time, I wasn't living on defense. I'm not proving, I'm not begging to be understood. I'm just existing. And it is the most profound peace I have ever found. I would be lying if I said it didn't feel strange, because that piece, it felt so strange, almost wrong, to be honest, because after so much chaos, calm feels suspicious, but it eventually settled in. You realize that peace doesn't need an audience, that there's power in letting people keep their version. When you know what's true, and you know who you are, their story can't touch you. It just becomes background noise. It's static that you stop hearing, but you'll get little echoes of it here and there. But you finally live in alignment again, grounded in who the fuck you are, not who they said you are. The rumors will surface all the time, and they don't sting. I just think, believe whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. I've made peace with it, and I know what's true, and I've made peace with the truth. And that's the thing about healing. It's not about changing how other people see you. Real healing is about remembering who the fuck you are when nobody's watching. You rebuild the parts that they tried to destroy. You trust your own voice again. You realize how strong you are for surviving not just the abuse, but the aftermath, the silence, the rumors, the isolation. Healing from abuse isn't just leaving the person. It's leaving the version of yourself that they built in other people's minds. It's walking away from the lie and finding your way back to your own truth. You stop needing to be the hero in everyone's story, and you start being the author of your own. Freedom, it doesn't come from clearing your name. It comes from releasing the need to. What they say, it will never fucking change who you are. Let them talk. Let them rewrite. Let them lie. Let them convince whoever they need to. Because their peace, their image, it depends on that lie. And yours, it depends on letting go. When you stop fighting for understanding, you start living in truth. Not the kind that demands to be seen. It's the kind that simply is. Because the people meant for you will never need convincing. They'll feel your truth without explanation. And the ones who don't, they were never meant to be in your life. So let them have their story, and you'll keep living yours. And one day, you'll look back and you'll realize that you didn't lose your reputation at all. You found your peace. And that's where the real freedom begins. Not when they stop lying about you, but when you stop needing them to tell the truth. Take what you need, leave what you don't. The story that they tell doesn't define you. The peace you find does.